Welcome to the new season of the Live Your Spa Life show. The Spa in Spa Life stands for Seek Power Always, that divine power within you to do what you're here to do. The theme for this season is Freedom Fighter. Amazing people like you share ways to ensure your freedom physically, financially, spiritually, and in your relationships to create a world-class life. In these times of uncertainty, it's time for you to move past the distractions and start trusting yourself more through your God-given knowingness. No one truly knows better what's best for you than you. In this season, you'll have plenty of examples of people choosing their best life and giving a voice of freedom to those who are also looking to have their best life. Thank you for sharing your precious time with us and being part of the Live Your Spa Life conversation. With us today is Monica Irauzqui. She is the co-founder of Yampu Tours. And Monica has gained knowledge from hundreds of trips that she's taken with her husband and 2 kids, which makes her an expert in family travel. And her eye for detail, knack for knowing what clients like, and impeccable memory for remembering even the smallest bits of information proves for her to be one of the most trusted and skilled people in the travel industry. Monica, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Diane. So nice to talk to you today.
Oh, thank you. It's great to know that travel is opening back up again and people are starting to talk about travel again and they're starting to jump into those kind of experiences. And I know for you, you are really instrumental in creating the client first culture at Yampu Tours, and that your mantra is to create lifetime relationships with your clients. Tell us a little bit about how you have been doing that.
Well, we started our company in 1998. When Google was still a new thing, and we were one of the first people that were selling tours in Peru because it had been kind of bad before that because of terrorism, and it was kind of beginning to open up. And so, as time went on, so many people jumped into the arena, and I said to my salespeople, maybe 15 years ago, I said, we just have to focus on what we do and just giving clients the best experience. And because those clients will do all the rest of the work for us if we just treat them like family, make them have trips of a lifetime. And that's exactly what's happened. We're so busy with our repeat clients and their referrals and just really taking care of people. And it's just a win-win situation. And I want people to go to a country and I want them, maybe they went to Peru to see Machu Picchu, but I want them coming back with dozens of reasons why they liked it. I want them to have great experience with people, with food, with nature, and I want them to come back and because there's things that they couldn't even imagine that they wanted to see that they saw, and that's what they were grateful for seeing.
Right. Well, it's kind of like a blessing and a curse with the internet, because I think a lot of people think that, they can book their own travel and, a lot of people have done that, but there's a lot of hit and miss in that as well. What are some of the kind of top reasons that someone who actually helps create experiences in their travel makes a difference for people when they're actually booking their travel?
Well, because when you are booking your travel, it's a lot of research. It takes a lot of time. So we do business with a lot of people that are very busy. And so there becomes a time when they trust you. It's probably after the first trip when they trust you completely. And then they can just hand it to me or hand it to my team and we will handle everything and they don't have to worry about it. So that's the number one reason. And another reason is that people don't even know what questions to ask themselves. For example, if you're going to Africa, what kind of vehicle do you like? What do you want to be in a lodge? Do you want to be in a tent? Do you want a private vehicle? Do you want to fly between areas? Do you want to drive between areas? Do you want to stand up and pop your head out, or do you want to sit there in one of those vehicles that have like a camera built into it? There's just so many options. And as a first time planner, I mean, a lot of people come to me and say, they don't say I want to go to Kenya. They say I want to go to Africa. So they don't even have clarity about which country they want to go to. So going to an expert is really great, because a really good expert will sit down and talk to you and help you find what's best for you.
Yeah,
What's in your mind might not be what's in someone else's mind, and they'll help you to discover that.
Got it. Well, there's been a lot of fears out there, especially the last couple of years, and people have been, reluctant to do some of their traveling. And now I think people are finally popping their head out and doing that. Some of us just never gave up travel. Like, we just kept going and we're just doing that. And it was a great thing to do. But what are some of the things, like, especially if people haven't been to another country before, there can be a lot of intimidation that has happened with that. Do you kind of help people, like, get the nuances, the ins and outs of a places, so that they're completely comfortable before they even hit the road?
Well, if they've never been to another country, first of all, I will want to talk to them about just getting to the airport. Because those of us that travel a lot, we take it for granted. But if you haven't traveled a lot, there's things like getting there early, making sure there's no liquids in your bag, which I think is a rule that they're thinking about doing away with. I'm not sure if they did yet, but there's so many considerations that you have to think about. Now with international travel, where every single country has a different rule and it changes all the time. So, and I find that a lot of people are really excited to work with a travel professional right now for that reason alone.
Right.
Navigating all the rules, and maybe, for example, let's say you're going to Italy and they have a rule, but then you have to fly through Frankfurt, and maybe you want to overnight in Frankfurt. Then you have to look at the rules there for transiting, and is it different if you leave the airport or if you just go through? So many things to think about. So, if it was a first time flyer, I would want to have a talk not about all of that, everything.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Well, and you've talked to about how you've lost the fear of the unknown. How did you come about that?
Well, just experience, I've never counted how many countries I've been to, but it must be more than 70, and, and so traveling around the world, you notice that people are similar, people, and especially if they work in the travel industry, if they work in a hotel, or they work at, if they're a guide or a driver, they just want to make you happy. And that's just a constant over every single country. So, and you learn about, how their differences, how they're different than us. And if people are different, it's still, that's not bad. It's actually, you can learn things. And for example, I just thought of this example. I was in Japan, and my husband and I were just having a grumpy travel day. We're just not happy with anything. Everything's on your nerves, and it's no one's fault, really. It's just, and there were too many people around. It was a fall day I believe we were in Kyoto, and so many people, and everyone wanted to take a picture. And we were going to the most popular places. And our guide just looked at us and went, I want to take you somewhere that's not so on the tourist radar. Let's go to another temple that only the locals know about. And he took us to this local temple, and we're still kind of in a grumpy mood, and we're not allowed to take pictures, which I think is great, So, but I remember the sensation. I remember, walking through the pine trees and through this beautiful gate and around the Japanese garden, and how they've made designs in the sand, and it's very soothing to look at the designs in the sand. And then there's like water running, and there's these big boulders, and the guide tells us that life is like a running river, and sometimes you have to go over big boulders, and sometimes you have to go over small ones. And then we get into the temple, and there's all these beautiful I guess they're prayers, and that might not be the right word, but to me, it looked like a prayer.
Mhm.
And it was about gratitude and being humble. And we read that. We're like, you know,
A good reminder.
that's what we needed. That is exactly what we needed to see, you know? And so I think life just takes care of itself, going from different place to place and seeing, and you just becoming comfortable with the process of
Mhm.
traveling and comfortable that people, for the most part, aren't out there to hurt you, you know? They're out there to help you.
Right.
And the more you believe that, I think the more you attract that and the less fearful you get of travel. And also, when things are bad here at home and you go somewhere else and maybe you're in nature, like in the middle of the Amazon, and that your body just relaxes
Mhm.
and you get a true relaxation. I love it when I'm somewhere where the phone doesn't work because everyone's always calling me, you know. So when I'm somewhere where the phone doesn't work, when I'm not constantly hearing that ding and checking my
Yeah.
messages, you get this really great relaxation. And so you become where you just look forward to it. You don't have that fear.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, it's so important. And so how did you develop this fear of, or not fear, but how this fan and this passion for travel? Did you travel as a child? Like what were some of your early travel experiences?
Oh, heavens no. I'm from Indiana and we went a few times to Florida. That was a big travel for us, road trip. I like that we would stop at all the caves and stuff. And I
Right.
guess I must have liked that, but I didn't realize it.
Wait, what part of
I
Indiana?
in Brown County.
Okay, my dad is from Indiana as well, and it's funny. It's like that topic's come up a lot about for a small state. There's a lot of Hoosiers that come out of there. My dad, St. John. So
Yeah. Yeah. So Brown County is a tourist town. So I
Mhm.
guess I've always had tourists around. And so yeah, we used to go to King's Flags every year, which is like an amusement park like Disney, but smaller.
Mhm.
King's Flags or King's Island? I'm confusing it. It's King's Island and Six Flags is different.
Yes, yes.
Kings Island we used to go to. So yeah, that's all the travel I did as a child. But after college, I moved to Hawaii and I was traveling around there. And I moved to Paris. And I moved to New York. And then I met my husband who loves to move. So we moved like every 5 years somewhere.
Nice, nice. Yeah, it's funny how, our experiences, you never know what is going to have you just appreciate the differences that there are around the world and what people are up to. And so I think that really allows you to, I think when you've gone to a lot of different places, you realize that yes, people have nuances that are different, but I love your outlook on most people are, they want what's good for you. And I think what happens, especially in the media, we see like these explosions of chaos in different areas that are really a small percentage of people. And I think sometimes that misconstrued information, if you will, can lead to people being more fearful. But the more you do get out in the world and the more you do get to experience good people and, like you said, being able to relax in nature and really just enjoy the beauty that there is around, it allows you to expand your world focus.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that makes a pretty big difference in that. Especially over the last couple of years, how did you maneuver your business through some of the lockdowns?
Well, it was really hard just facing the fact that we couldn't sell travel at all. We built a lot of new tours, so it was kind of like a year-long spring cleaning of our website. So, because there were a lot of places that we sold because we had knowledge of it, but had never made it to the website. Because
Mm-hmm.
building a trip and putting it on the website is a lot of work. So we added probably 20 or 30 countries to the website. We added all of the Pacific, like Australia, and we added Europe because that was never on our website. Now most of my business is Europe this summer. So we added all of these countries. We were working as a smaller team. A few of our people were furloughed. But yeah, we just got everything organized and, that's what we've been doing over COVID. And then as soon as we could travel, I think our first trip was Costa Rica.
Mm-hmm.
And that was before the the vaccines had come out. And so it was scary, but once we got there, it was amazing because Costa Rica is all outdoors. Everything you do is outdoors. And even the hotel rooms are, little casitas. And then so you walk outside to get to your casita. So you're not walking through like an elevator or hallway,
Right.
So it was a perfect first trip. And then I started getting my clients to do trips like that. They were very nature focused. And then it got a little bit more crazy when more countries opened up, but then there's all these different rules and then testing to come back, which as of today, we don't have to do that anymore. Thank goodness, because that was really hard because they made the rule more strict where you had to get the test within 24 hours. And some countries that we sell are not really set up for that.
Right. Well, hopefully we're beyond all that, especially since the new research that's come out. There's over like 150 research now about, and even in the UK, they mentioned how, that was kind of a mistake in history, if you will, that, that experimentation was not really helping people with their immunity. Wearing masks were not effective. The testing actually doesn't test for viruses. I mean, there's so many things that in the chaos of it, people didn't know what to believe. But now that these things have come out, it's nice to know that there's that separation and there's not this forced activities for people to do around their health, not based in anything that was factual. So that's nice to be on the other side of that and for people to have more control over their own health and being able to make those decisions, which then ripples down to people being able to travel and do more of the things that they want to do. And I know you've talked before about that love can help you solve problems. Talk a little bit about that.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So I think I read a book when I was in my 20s. The dragon doesn't live here anymore. And he taught me that. And that almost any situation, if you look at it with love, you will come up with the answer. And sometimes you're so angry or you're so mad or something's just so terrible and you can't find the love in it. Then that's when I'll say a prayer. And for me, I was brought up Christian, but I think you can do this from any religion, or even if you're not religious, but if you're spiritual, so you can apply it somehow for you. But for me, I say a prayer, and I learned this from Carolyn Miss, how to pray, and so instead of asking God, like, for something really, really specific, I'll say, I need the words. So say, I'm really upset. I don't know how to talk to this person. They're upset with me. And I actually had a story that was travel. This never happens. Okay. But I had a client who misread something and she was all very upset, and the team on the ground was upset because they made them do something that they weren't supposed to do, and it cost us hundreds of dollars more, and everybody was upset. And I just didn't know, because I like to solve problems. I don't like to tell clients, oh, you should have read this, or I told you that, or I don't like to go there with clients. But I also, sometimes you have to be able to set some order, so I just didn't know what to do. And I was very upset, and it was late at night, because a lot of times I'm answering emails 3 a.m, when things are going down in Europe, and I'm here in California. So I just said, please help me find the words in the morning, like find the solution, help me find the words. And then also help the client to see like clearly, and everybody on the team to see clearly. And in the morning, everybody just resolved itself, and nobody was upset. It was just like, it just all went away, And I don't even think I really had to do much. I mean, I sent some appetizers to the clients to make them happy, and but it just all went away the next day, and that also happened with my family. Once I had to go see some family members, and they had been very upsetting. It upset me, but it was an important time. It was an important event in our family's life, and I had to go and face them, and I prayed for the words.
Hmm. Yeah. The power of prayer is just amazing. And, I think that is a good reminder that we don't have to have the perfect words, right? We have to just ask for the words and have God work through us. And that's part of our discernment. And it's so amazing when we can do that. And I think sometimes we forget about just the power of faith and how it can lead us and really open up a way when we don't see a way. So I think that's beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, good. So I know too that you love to give people business ideas. So what is one of your best business ideas?
Well, I like to tell people, I like to ask them, what do you love? What do you love to do? Like, for example, I can hear in your voice how you love to talk about these kind of things, fear and facing your fears and overcoming. And so I would ask the person, like, what is it that you love to do? And so, for example, if they said, oh, I love surfing, and I'd say, well, you could, go work at a surf store, see what's involved in it, and then maybe you can start your own surf store, or you can start surf lessons, or you can do surf camps, or you can do surf retreats, and there's so many things that you could do just around one interest, and I also like businesses that don't need a lot of outlay of cash in the beginning. Service businesses are great because you can just start, serving people, helping people do something, whether it's, cleaning their dog or walking their dog or, but I like when people just focus on what they love to do and then finding ways that they can turn that into a business. So that every day they get up to do something they love to do. Because I really think that's the key. You're not going to take your money with you, when you die. So you want to be having good experiences every day.
Right.
And so I just like to talk to people. I like them to just, because I have all these ideas and I don't have nearly enough time to do all the ideas that come to me. So I love to just share.
Right. That's so good. I mean, it's so important to get, one clear on what it is that you really like to do, because, there's different nuances and levels of that too, because that's one of the things I've discovered as a consultant is somebody may like to surf, but then when they look beyond the other things, they may not want to serve in a surf shop, right? They may like surfing because they like to be outside, right? Yeah. And so to make those distinguishing things about it, I love that just, asking deeper questions so that you can kind of get at what is it about that, because you could talk to 10 different people that like surfing and they're going to like different aspects of it. And in those aspects of finding what they love, then they can really look and see what are they here to do and what does that actually look like. So I love the distinction on that as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, so good. So I know that, traveling is one of those things that most people are just super happy about. They always look forward to it. What do you think it is about people and travel that makes them feel so free and happy?
I think when you just get out of your daily routine and so anytime you travel, you're out of your daily routine. That's the first thing that happens, And so then you have freedom. Oh, okay. I can have a long breakfast. How many of us actually get up and have a really long breakfast? I'm going to have a long breakfast today. I'm just going to watch these birds flutter by and eat my muffin or something you wouldn't eat at home, have this really good coffee, and I'm going to, sit here and have a long breakfast, and I'm going to go to a museum today. And how many times do you go to a museum in your own town, So, you go to a museum, you see some art, you go for a walk in the woods, go fishing or, all kinds of things. A lot of times my clients love to be active, so one day they'll be canyoning and then, the next day they're horseback riding. And these are things that first of all, being out in nature, I think that's just the bomb, it just heals your heart it just starts to heal your heart, your body, the sun, the vitamin D. the air that you're breathing, the sounds that you're hearing. It's a full sensory, thing. So then, going out and meeting new people and eating different kinds of food. I think it's just a really great way to relax and, leave everything that you are dealing with day to day behind so that when you come back, you're feeling refreshed and ready to go at it again.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's something that it's so important. In fact, one of the things I always encourage my clients to do is to have like an actual wall calendar. And I know a lot of people have gotten away from that, and put on there what is the either annual family vacation, or what kind of weekend getaway you're going to do each quarter, or what do those things look like, so that when things feel stressful or there feels like there's a lot going on, you always have that thing to look forward to. And I think nothing does that more than travel, like something that you get to experience outside of yourself and just check out of the normal routine. And I find particularly for entrepreneurs, that's actually where they get a lot of their great business ideas, is when they're actually away from their business and they actually have the bandwidth to think through things that when they're in the day-to-day minutia that they don't always get to do. So I think where sometimes travel seems like it's just a luxury, it's actually something that can jumpstart your business as well, because you finally gave yourself that relaxation to think through an idea, to, actually turn it off so that you can turn it back on. So I think that's a really great way to be able to just enjoy life, right? Just have those special moments, because, especially with families, right? It's like those are the things you remember, is the trips you took, the memories that you made, and those kind of things that really matter to you.
Yeah, you made some really good points there, and just sparking all kinds of ideas for me. Sometimes I think that, like, sometimes when you're on trips, you can also learn things that you bring back to your everyday life. You
Yes.
know, like that poem that I read in that temple, which I have hanging on my wall over there. You
Yeah.
know, and
Yeah.
so I brought that back with me, and when I need to be settled down, I go read it. When I need that grounding.
Right, right. Absolutely. Well, speaking of that grounding, I mean, for someone who's been, in over 70 countries and just been all around the world, when you go back to your own home, I mean, we have different experiences in our kitchen or our office or our bedroom. What is your favorite room in your home, and why?
Well, I love my backyard. We put a little couch and a fire pit out there. Our dining table is out there. We live in Southern California, so it's outdoor living. And I actually got that inspiration in Mexico, because that's the way a lot of those villas are done on the ocean. They just open the doors, and the doors are left open all day, and you eat outside and you live outside. And so I kind of created that in our home, and I just love it. We have fruit trees around, and we have birds, and I planted the plants that the butterflies like, which is something that was inspired for me in Costa Rica when I spent time in a butterfly garden, and I just loved it. So I came home and put all these plants in the garden and would bring the butterflies, and we have hummingbirds and blue jays and some kind of bird that yaps all night. I don't know what that is.
Well, I think when I think of Costa Rica, there's also the hala monkeys, and they're kind of crazy.
Yeah, we don't have any howler monkeys here.
That's a good thing. Oh, so good. Well,
Yeah.
I know that our listeners are going to, want to rev up for their travel and have an expert that supports them. How can they reach out to you?
Yeah, our website, Yampu, Yampu, Yampu.com. And we have all of you can contact me through, filling out a form. There's also an email address there, a phone number, or chat. Well, however you like to communicate, you can get me there.
Perfect. That sounds great. And as our theme this year is creating freedom in your life, and who are being freedom fighters, and how are you creating freedom in your life today?
How am I creating freedom in my life? I'm being careful which clients that I take so that I balance my time better. So I'm not taking as many new clients as I used to. I'm interviewing them a little more, to make sure that they, they really need me and want my time. And so it's just about time management. To get your freedom, you have to be able to manage your time.
Got it. Great advice, because our time is finite and we want to be able to do things that we love and live the life that is meaningful for us. And that's part of what we talk about here at Spa Life is seek power always, that power within you to really have that discernment and to really live that life that you want to live. So I just want to thank you for your wisdom and all that you've cultivated for people in travel through the years. We so appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. And to our audience out there, thank you for spending this time here with us. And until we connect again, live your spa life. Bye for now. Bye-bye.